That's correct.
And by the way, warning has been given to the 22 Kenny Peoples Jr. Do not jump the start again. If you do, you go to the back. So the call has been made by race director and the new general manager for FASTRAK Companies International, DJ Irvine. And you jump. This is your warning. Do it again, you go to the tail. Kenny Peoples Jr. again. We'll get ready for the restart.
Are you putting the form back where he was, or huh? Did he get his spot back or not?
Problems for car number 4 of Matthew Nance. I believe he is going to go back to his spot because the caution was called on the restart, not on the problem for Matthew Nance. That's what you call a secondary caution. So he'll go back to his spot in car number 4.
You do one, you got to do the other. I mean, I don't know.
Bobby Mays in 25. He came back out there.
I don't know what happened on that start. I wasn't watching that part of it, just watching the lead.
So we'll get this field reassembled. We'll do the choose rule. And
so we'll do the
right
same
now.
thing again, ladies and gentlemen. The 6 car will choose in or out. The 22, now he's chosen out every time so far, Wesley. 22's chosen inside every time.
That's exactly right.
All right.
Your 52 sitting on the track.
Problems for Brad Basie, the D52 out of Augusta, Georgia. His car is stalled. Also, Basie Site Work Services is also going to be given $100 to the hard charger of the race. The driver that quickly advances from the back to the front has the most finishing positions, $100. I think Basie needs a push in 52. I think he's lost power to the motor on that D52 of Brad Basie.
Can we get a push to the 52 in the front straightaway, please?
Of course, Brad Basie is the nephew to the gambler Ed Basie, one of the greats of super late model racing in the Southeast stand.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've seen Ed Basie win races all over the United States. I think a lot of people who have been around racing for a long time understand that Ed Basie was one of the absolute best in the United States at one time. He's one of those drivers that absolutely has done a great job all over the country against some of the best in the country.
You know, Stan, looking at statistics here, I'm a stat guy, you know that. Besides getting his biggest win ever at Charlotte, Dylan Brown has never won a FASTRAK Racing Series powered by a Chevrolet Performance Touring event. So this could be an exciting event. He won at Screven, but this will be a bigger payday for him in the car number 6. Dylan Brown won the Winter Freeze event back in February, but it was actually rescheduled in March.
All right, here we go again. Under the choose route. Now, see, the 75 chose low that time. The car, and 12 cars choosing high.
That's right. So the front row stays the same. The choose rule for row 2 is different now. As on the last go, Umberger was on the inside, Brett Ham was on the outside, but now they've changed up and flip-flopped those spots. Caution lights are extinguished around the speedway. Dylan Brown trying to look for his second win, but the biggest win in his FASTRAK career here tonight in the NRV Furniture
and the 6
3000.
car has to start the race right there. He started.
And they were all bottlenecked behind him. 4 wide, are you kidding me on the restart? And it's a good start as Brown roars back to speed. They were 4 wide, though, at back to green off of 4. And now Brett Ham looks like he's got some kind of a problem. Benchy Hicks with a daring move on the outside of the racetrack. Came out of nowhere on the outside lane. And he moves now from 7th to now 4th as the field roars back down the front straightaway. Dylan Brown leads him, stand off turn 2.
I tell you what, the 55 car, he got a run on that start, and he went by the 75 on the outside. I don't think the 75 ever knew he was there.
Got him asleep at the wheel, so to speak, as the field roars back in full speed out of turn 4. Cross the line.
Benji Hicks running way up against the wall in 1 and 2.
And Stan, we're looking at the race in the front of the pack. It's a hornet's nest in the back.
Oh, my
Look
goodness.
at this race in between Arrington and Stinnen and Nance.
It's 3 wide back there. Corey Allman.
Jason Johnson, Chris Chandler, Corey Allman.
Basie. I mean, they are just fighting for dear life.
Jason Johnson, meeting the sandwich there in the back there, inside the top 20. 3 wide. Look at that off of turn 2.
That is beautiful racing. All those guys staying off each other, that is a great job out of drivers. Here we go. But the 75 has gotten back by the 55, and here comes the 00.
Field exits off of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. 10 laps in, we are 1/5 of the way through. In the NRV Furniture Incorporated, $3,000 to win. Round 2 of the Fast Track Triple Crown Series, 14th annual for 2018. Field goes back to turn number 1 and 2. Benji Hicks up the racetrack. He'll now set his sights on Newberry, South Carolina's Brett Ham for 4th. And it's still Dylan Brown staying exiting off of turn 4. And he's opening up that lead over second as well as they board a 1.
55 of Benji Hicks now trying on the low side of the 75 car. What will he do here?
He'll go to the outside of the racetrack is what he'll do. Up the racetrack, trying to back the rear end of the car off the wall. He'll try to lose that momentum and make a slingshot. Daring move to the inside in 3 for the crossover, the slider. He'll still hold off. Newberry wheel off, Ham off of 4. And we now work lap 14. And the leaders are in a couple of laps about to take over, come lapping traffic. But Stan Dylan Brown looking good. Strong performance in turn 3.
Look at this.
Wow, hold on. Teddy Tate sideways as Matthew Nance and Stinnett battle inside the top 10.
Well, these guys right here, they've got 4 or 5 cars tied together like they're all tied up in a wad, and they are racing their hearts out. 3 wide the corners. Benji Hicks and Brett Ham look like they've got an MMA match going on.
That's right.
55 car goes back by the 75 again. He's making the low side work.
15 laps in now of 50. Triple Crown at Wythe Raceway.
And as you see that black streak coming to the racetrack, the lap times will slow down a little bit, but the racing will get a lot better. And that will also have a lot to do with the tire compound, Wesley. That harder tire loves that black streak.
That's right. And that's something we didn't even talk about. The tire wear.
I would bet you the 002 of Arrington has got on a harder tire, because all of a sudden now you see him going he's making time now.
So about, 5 laps or so, it starts to come in for the speed with the car and the tires, and then you start seeing cars go, like Arrington is, as you just reiterated on.
Yeah, that harder tire, you just got to get a little heat on it before it starts going. But once it does, but now here comes the 4 Brian Nance.
Look at Hicks and Ham battling door to door again. Oh, Hicks in the wall! Hicks in the wall out of turn 2. He'll still save it. I wonder if he damaged anything staying on the right side of the car. He put it in the fence.
Still looking pretty competitive to me. I don't see anything but a little sheet metal damage there. He's still racing hard.
And that's why they are the best in pro late model racing in the fast track circuit right here. You just saw it. 5 laps or 6 laps to halfway. Battle going on between Chris Chandler and look at this. Matthew Nance and Tyler Arrington off of 4. Oh, trouble in turn 4. Teddy Tate gets contact after battling with the 41 of Terry Krager. He goes in a solo spin, and the caution will come out on lap number 20.
Woo, I tell you what now. You didn't know where to watch on that little section of laps, Wesley. I mean, they were racing all over the racetrack, 2 and 3 wide. They had 1 water cars there at one point. There was about 5 cars that were just all over each other.
Caution again coming out for the 3rd time in the race after the incident involving the 99 of Teddy Tate from Royal Retreat, Virginia. Contact with Krager and the solo spin. We're under yellow for lap number 20. 30 to go, Stan Lester.
I tell you what, Wesley, we'll see what happens here, but remember, we do revert back to the last lap because we only have 1 scoring loop. Not like NASCAR where they got loops all over the racetrack.
20 all over the track, yep.
We got the 1 scoring loop, so we have to revert back that way to make sure we get everybody all fair and square. We'll see what happens with the 4 and the 002. See where the 55 car ends up. I tell you what, the 55 smacked the wall pretty good coming off turn 2.
Definitely. For those that are listening to the audio cast on our Fast Track Racing Series social media, Facebook, he backed the right side of that car, passenger side, hard into the barriers off of turn number 2, and I thought he was going to put it in the fence, but he literally just kept right on moving, not stopping, and he still stays out. Now 99. Oh, my goodness, Stan, it's worse on Teddy Tate. Suspension or toe end issues on the right front of the 99 of Batman Teddy Tate.
Yeah, that looks little strange. I can't tell. It almost looks like the right front's sticking out too far this way, outside of the car.
And he's going to go back out on the track.
But I guess his crew told him he was. It doesn't look quite as bad now. Maybe it's just kind of the way it appeared from up here. But he'll take a little run down the back straightaway into the corner, make sure everything's okay.
20 laps in.
Racing again.
20 laps in, 30 laps to go. Let's give you your full field rundown as it stands right now. Dylan Brown leads. Kenny Peoples Jr. was in second, followed by Brett Ham, Brandon Umberger, and Benji Hicks as your top 5. As the choose rule is about to be wrapped up here in effect, 1 to go being given at the line. We will come back for the restart. And pretty good first half of the race so far, Stan.
Let me tell you something. I think this choose rule just makes it. I know I keep talking about that, but I really think it makes the racing. Gives the fan the money's worth, and that's what we want to do. Put on a good show for the fans, a fair show for the competitors. And just make things work at Wythe Raceway like we always have. We've seen some great competition here. We've seen a guy lead the race for 49 laps and lose it on lap 50.
I told them about the story, how you found this place and built the relationship you have now with Fred and Susan Brown.
Yeah, sometimes when you get lost, it's not always a bad thing.
That's right. Once was lost, but now I'm found, as they say.
That's the reason they require Bluetooth in cars now.
Yes. Well, we're ready. Stan, bring him back to green. Bring him back to green, Stan, if you wanted to.
All right, I'm busy watching the race here instead of calling the race. 75 of Brent Ham slipped up just a little bit. 55 of Benji Hicks is back up under him. There goes the 4-car. Matthew Nance looking for a spot under the 75 of Ham now. He's down on the bottom side of the race.
Whoa!
We've got 3 wide, 4 wide coming off of turn 4.
It looked like a draft at Talladega, the way they were roaring through. That was restrictor plate racing there for a second. And they're still making it happen on the back stretch. Look at these cars slicing and dicing on a chopping block of clay.
Listen, 3 wide going into turn 3. It's amazing. And these guys are running 120, 130 miles an hour down into the corners. And had a little talk with them before we got started. Said, hey, guys,
use your head, be safe.
Competitors some room.
That's right.
Because you're running a lot faster here than you normally are.
And we always say, but we don't want to see the big one. It could happen here.
Yeah, we don't want to see the big one, that's for sure. And they're listening. Obviously, they're racing hard, but they're giving each other room.
Respecting each other.
And that's what these fast track teams normally do. 3 wide coming off turn 2.
In the middle there.
Randy Kinder and
Corey Allman.
Bobby Mays has made his way back up through there.
How about the run for also?
Bobby Mays has moved up 12 positions now.
Stan, Benji Hicks has bounced the car off the wall yet again. Middle in the apex of 1 and 2. Nonetheless, they come to halfway. Halfway this time by. Let's give you your full field rundown as it's halfway. Dylan Brown leads. Look at this. Oh, contact! Benji Hicks and Carson Ferguson getting sideways into 1 and 2.
Well, I tell you what, now they're racing hard right there.
That is a heated battle between those cars, and they're 3 wide again in the back between
Ferguson on the inside, Hicks on the outside. Hicks looks like his car's just a little bit loose up top, but he's making great momentum down the straightaway.
Just after halfway, caution's out. We got a caution. Yellow being waved. We got problems in turn number 2. That is Augusta, Georgia's Brad Basie. The D52 stalling up in turn number 2 just after halfway. Working lap 26.
Shake him out, see if he's got a flat or whatever.
Basie stalls in turn number 2. We go under yellow again.
Unusual amount of cautions here. I have seen this race go caution free.
And be one of the wildest races we've ever seen in our life.
Yep. There's no doubt about it. And again, tire compound is there's only 2 tires.
Yes.
The FT200, the softer compound, you cannot groove or sipe or do anything to it. You can buff it and run it. The 400, because it was a harder tire, you can groove and sipe it. And some guys have really learned how to do that. And they can fire off. And that's the reason you'll see maybe a guy will take off all of a sudden, past 3 or 4 cars, because that heat is coming in that 400 tire, that harder compound.
Now, Stan, can we tell the fans, can you be able to put FT200 and 400 tires on the car on the different sides?
Absolutely. You can put either anywhere on the car you want to.
So you could have 3 F2T100s and on the right rear an F400.
That's correct. And I have seen the winning combination most of the time would be 2 400s on the outside, 2 200s on the inside. If you don't have a lot of cautions,
right?
I have seen
it hurts you when you get caution flags, right?
Yep, when you get on the harder compound, it takes them a little bit to get going.